Welcome to the channel JIV and CIV Made Simple. Today we are going to discuss IIBF CTP, that is Certified Treasury Professional, memory based question which we are asked on 25th October 2025. So we have already provided you some previous memory based question through which you can gauge what are the important topics from your question are repeatedly being asked. And this is now another session. So this is a set of 25 to 30 questions, and they will provide you insight into how to go about solving such kind of problem. I will explain each and every option. So try to solve the question on your own first and then see the explanation. And if you want complete set of this kind of question in PDF, you can WhatsApp me on this particular number, because we have CTP complete course available on our app. App name is JIV and CIV Made Simple, through which you can prepare CTP examination very effectively and clear the examination in the very first go, as many aspirants have already cleared the examination. So let's get started with our first question. The first question, so they have given you the option. What option they have given? The first one is CMB carries short flexible tenor and serve urgent cash need, while T will follow fixed maturity with regular issuance. B says CMB are offered through a scheduled auction with fixed term, while T bill are issued only when sudden liquidity gap arises. C says that CMB are long-term borrowing tool with routine auction, while T bill supports short-term deficit through ad hoc sales. Option D says CMB and T bill both come with fixed term of 91 days, though CMB address routine fixal gap unlike T bill. So you have to tell me which option correctly differentiate between these two. So let's start with our first option. So you can imagine the government of India like a person, and this person needs money for two situations, right? This person needs money for two situations. The first one is regular monthly expense. This person need money for regular monthly expense, like it can include rent, it can include groceries, right? It can include mobile bill. So these are quite predictable. These expenses are quite predictable, right? And for this type of planned need, the government issues treasury bill. So these expenses like rent, groceries, mobile bill, quite predictable. And for them, what government does? They issue T bill. And T bill follow fixed maturity, 91 days, 182 days, 364 days. Okay. So the government issue them regularly on a fixed schedule. Now, the second kind of situation we have is we call sudden emergency need, right? Sudden emergency need. So basically like a surprise hospital bill. You can think of it like a surprise hospital bill, right? Or a sudden repair. You can think of it like a sudden repair. Surprise hospital bill, sudden repair. It's quite unexpected. It's quite urgent, right? Unexpected and urgent, right? And for this kind of urgent cash requirement, what government does? Government issued cash management bill. So what is the key point about CMB? What is the key point about CMB? The first point is that its tenor is quite flexible. Tenor is flexible. Second point is tenor is always less than 91 days. Third point is they are issued only when needed. They are issued only when needed. They have no fixed schedule. And fourth point is that the purpose is to manage the temporary cash mismatch. The purpose is to manage the temporary cash mismatch, right? So CMB are just like short term. CMB are like short term quick loan, while T bill are steady planned borrowing. That's the difference. Treasury bill is a steady planned borrowing, while CMB is a short term quick loan. Now let's look at the option that we have. Option A say CMB carries short term flexible tenor and serve urgent cash need, while T will follow fixed maturity. So if you talk about CMB carries short term, this perfectly capture for flexible plus urgent nature. Flexible plus urgent nature of what? CMB. Yes, CMB are flexible and they are urgent also. And what about T bill? Yes, T bill are fixed plus regular. T bill fixed plus regular nature of T bill. That's why A is correct. What about option B? Option B says CMB are offered through a scheduled auction with fixed term, while T bill are issued only when suddenly liquidity gap arises. C says that CMB are issued on a schedule. No, they are on a schedule. I again tell you that CMB are on a schedule, right? CMB are on a schedule. So this is wrong. What about C? C says that CMB are long-term borrowing tool with routine auction, while T will support short-term deficit through ad hoc sale. What do you think about option C? So CMB are not long term. First of all, it says that CMB are long term. No, they are not long term. CMB are short term. They are very short term. So that's why C is wrong. What about D? It says that CMB and T will both come with fixed term of 91 day, though CMB address routine fiscal gap unlike T will. So CMB do not have any fixed 91 day maturity. They are always less than 91 days, below 91 days. So it says that CMB and T will both come with fixed term of 91 days. That is wrong. So the correct answer is option number A. So one way to remember it like this. One way to remember is like this. You can think of this CMB as a crisis money borrowing. Right. This is my definition of defining CMB. Crisis money borrowing. So crisis means what? Whenever you see this word crisis, it simply means urgent. It simply means urgent. Right. Urgent, short and flexible. Right. Unscheduled. And if you talk about the T bill, you can think of the T bill like this. You can think of the treasury bill like timetable bill. Right? You can think of them like timetable bill. So T means timetable and fixed tenor and regular auction. Right? Simple and memorable. So again I am repeating, CMB is crisis money borrowing. Crisis means urgent, short and flexible. And T bill timetable bill, which means timetable, fixed tenor, regular auction. So what we learned from this discussion is that CMB are short maturity are less than 91 days. It's quite flexible, it's quite unscheduled, and they are issued for urgent cash need. While T will have the fixed tenor. Fixed tenor means 91, 182 or 64 days. Regularly they are issued. Regular issues and planned borrowing. They have a planned borrowing. T will have a planned borrowing, right? I hope this answered the question. That's why option number A is the perfect one. Now friends, let's look at the second question. Please have pen, paper, calculator with you. So this is the question number 2, because we are going to discuss one numerical based question. Right. So the question is like this. A government bond of 100 rupees face value carry an annual coupon rate of 7.5%. The last coupon date was 1st April and the settlement date was 20th June of the same year. Assume actual basis and total 80 days have passed. What will be the accrued interest payable by the buyer to the seller? That's the question. You have to compute the accrued interest payable. So option they have given 1.50, 1.64, 1.80, 2.05. Exactly same question was asked in the examination. So let's get started. Let's understand the basic concept behind the question. How do we go about computing the accrued interest? So you can think of the government bond. One way to think of the government bond like a fixed deposit. One way to think of the government bond is like a fixed deposit that pay interest every 6 months, right? And that is called, coupon. Coupon is the interest that is paid, right? As you can see, they have written that, 6 months, right? It carries annual coupon of 7.5%. Last coupon date was 1st April. Settlement date is 20 June, right? And 6 months. So you can think of the government bond like a fixed deposit that pay interest every 6 months called a coupon. Now imagine this. What is happening? The seller held the bond from 1st April, 1 April to 20 June. Seller held the bond from this period. So that is, 80 days. 80 days have passed. During these 80 days, the seller earned interest. The seller earned interest, right? So, but they are selling the bond before the next coupon date. You see, basically what they are doing, before the next coupon day, they are selling the bond. Try to understand what is happening here. That let me explain on the timeline. It will be very better to understand. See what is happening here. That basically held the bond from 1 April to 20 June. So how many days are there? 80 days. And they have explicitly mentioned that annual coupon rate is this much. Last coupon date was 1st April. Settlement date this month April. What is the accrued? Okay. Suppose that it pays a fixed interest every 6 months. That is called coupon. So during these 80 days, the seller earned interest. Obviously, whoever have sold the bond, he might have earned interest during these 80 days. But they are selling the bond before the next coupon day, because next coupon day is scheduled on 6 months, which means 180 days. They are selling before 180 days. So the buyer must compensate the seller for the interest earned so far, right? So in this case, seller has earned interest and buyer must compensate the seller. Buyer must compensate the seller for what? For whatever interest they have earned. And that compensation is what we call, accrued interest. That compensation is called accrued interest. I hope it is clear. So how do you go about computing the accrued interest? Let me explain. So you can write it like this. Accrued interest is equal to face value multiplied by coupon rate multiplied by day elapsed or days elapsed divided by 365. Right. So let's substitute the value that we have provided. So the face value is 100 rupees. Yes, right, 100 rupees. Second, we have the coupon rate. What is the coupon rate? Coupon rate, I think it is 7.5%, right? What is the, how many days have elapsed? So the day have elapsed is, 80 days. 80 days have elapsed. Total 80 days have passed upon 365. So that will be give you how much? Try to think about it. So it will give you 100 multiplied by 0.075 multiplied by 0.21918. That is equivalent to 1.643 or 1.64. So the buyer must pay the seller this much interest in the form of accrued interest. So actually, this bond is just of 100 rupees. That's why this accrued interest is so much small. Actually, the bond which are issued in lakhs and crores, so it will be higher, right? So that is the option B is the perfect answer. That is the accrued interest payable by the buyer to the seller. So you can think of it, the formula is just like this. Let me write down the formula once more, because main thing is formula F into C into D upon 360. Now friends, the next question is, which of the following statement best describe the functioning and regulatory framework of TREPS as per the updated 2025 guideline? So this question is about, TREPS. Options are given. TREPS is an unsecured overnight borrowing facility for bank only, settled directly between counterparties without collateral or tri-party involvement. B says TREPS is a secure tri-party repo system where CCIL manage collateral, settlement and counterparty risk. Participants include bank, mutual fund, insurer and NBFC. Rate are market driven. Tenure can extend up to 1 year. C says TREPS is a long-term debt issuance platform for Government of India, while T-bill are issued through a tri-party agreement, where T-bill are issued through a tri-party agreement with interest accruing only at maturity and regulated solely by SEBI. D says TREPS is a corporate bond trading platform where repo interest is calculated only monthly, haircut are not applicable, and CCIL does not act like a central counterparty under RBI direction. So this is a very good question. So basically, let me explain it using one example so that it becomes crystal clear to you. Imagine that there are two people, right? So imagine there are two people. So the first one is the lender. So lender, what he has extra money. Lender has extra money, right, for 1 day. He has extra money for 1 day or few days. Okay. And suppose on the other end we have borrower. Borrower, he needs short-term fund. Borrower need short-term fund. Right. So, but both want safety. Either it is lender or it is borrower. Both want safety. Borrower says that I will give you my government security as collateral. If I don't return your money tomorrow, you can sell them. See, what borrower say that, borrower has extra money and lender has extra money and borrower needs short-term fund. Both want safety. So borrower say that I will give you my government security as collateral. He says to the lender that I will give you my government security as collateral. If I don't return your money tomorrow, you can sell them. This is exactly how a repo work. Right. Basically, now what happened, a third party who checks collateral, right? A third party enter. What he checks? He checks the collateral, right? He keep it safe. He keep the collateral safe. He manage the settlement. He mark to market, right? And he guarantee the deal. He also guarantee the deal. So the third party which enter is called CCIL. Clearing Corporation of India Limited. Please remember it. That is called CCIL. And when CCIL act like this tri-party agent, the system is called, whenever CCIL, basically, this CCIL is acting like a tri-party. This particular arrangement is called TREPS. TREPS full form is, tri-party repo dealing system. Right. So the full form is very simple. Tri-party, right, repo dealing, tri-party repo dealing system. These are used for overnight to short-term borrowing, and this is secured by government security. Now let's look at the option that we have. So that is the basic point regarding TREPS. So if you look at the option number A, it says that unsecured borrowing. No, 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 no. It is never unsecured. It's always secured. Right. TREPS is a secured because, collateral like government security, collateral like T-bill, as SDL, these are placed. They are not unsecured, not corporate bond. They are not long term. Right. So option number A, if we talk about, A is wrong. What about B? Yes, this is the correct. Secure tri-party repo system. CCIL manage collateral settlement and counterparty risk. And rates are market driven. Tenor can extend up to 1 year. Option number C says that TREPS is a long-term debt issuance platform for the government of India. So basically, it's talking about the participants, which means that traditionally overnight, but updated guideline allow tenor up to 1 year. And then system timing 2025 revised. So from 1st August, the operating hour were updated to 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Right. So market driven, tenor flexibility. There are different kinds of participants like bank, mutual fund, insurer, and NBFCs. Okay. And then we talked about the tri-party mechanism. Who are the parties? Basically, CCI like a tri-party agent. Okay. So why option are wrong? So if you talk about the option number C, it says that TREPS is a long-term debt issuance. No. Actually, and bank only, and it is unsecured. It is saying option number C is saying long-term debt. Actually, completely wrong. TREPS is a short-term repo, not bond issuance. It has nothing to do with bond issuance. What about option D? It calls TREPS a corporate bond trading platform. Actually, the answer is no haircut. Actually, this is wrong. Repo is never corporate bond trading. Okay. So tri-party repo ensured by CCIL with securities. So TREPS, just remember the keywords. TREPS, it is a secured collateralized tri-party repo. CCIL handle the risk, settlement and collateral. Rates are market driven, never fixed, not RBI fixed. And participants, just now I told you that participants are bank, mutual fund, insurer company, NBFC and other regulated entity. Tenor overnight up to 1 year. Timing I told you 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now the next question is, which of the following accurately describe STRIPS and regulatory framework governing their creation, trading and valuation after the 2025 RBI update? So friends, the option they have mentioned is that STRIPS are newly issued zero coupon securities created by RBI for state and central government. So this question revolves around stripes. So and it says that it valued only at the face value without accrued interest and cannot be reconstituted once stripped. Option B says STRIPS are separated coupon and principal component of eligible fixed coupon government and state security. They are treated as a zero coupon instrument on NDS OM, valued using discount factor. C says that STRIPS are unsecured money market borrowing used by bank to manage liquidity created from treasury bill without coupon separation. Option D says that STRIPS represent the long-term corporate bond stripped by PD, where interest strips pay periodic coupon. So now let's see the option that we have. So strips sound something like complex security, but it's actually very easy if you understand one simple thing, right? One simple thing is that you take a normal bond, right? Break it into pieces, and each piece become a zero coupon security. Suppose this is a normal bond. You break it into pieces, right? And each one become a zero coupon security. So let me explain this, what this strips is all about. Imagine that the government bond that pays regular coupon. Suppose there is a government bond, and this government bond is paying what? This government bond is paying a regular coupon. What is the meaning of regular coupon? It means interest after 6 months. Okay. So basically, and return the principal at the maturity. So principal is also returned at maturity. Right. Now think of breaking this bond into small parts. What you are doing, you are breaking this big government bond into small parts. You are breaking the bond into small parts. And every future interest payment is one small piece. Every future interest payment is a small piece. Okay. And the final principal repayment is another piece. Final, obviously you will get principal repayment. This is the final piece. So remember, each of these pieces become zero coupon security. All these pieces, become what? Zero coupon security. And that is what we call strips. right? Strips. So strips stand for separated part of an existing government bond. Separated part of an existing government bond. It is not a new bond, rather it is not issued separately. So in simple word, it is just like bond broken into interest pieces plus principal piece. So we have a bond and we broke that bond into two parts. One is the interest piece and other is the principal piece. Right. Now let's look at the option that we have. So option A says that they are newly issued zero coupon security created by RBI for state and central government. So what do you think about this definition? So it says that strips are newly issued by RBI and cannot be reconstituted. Right? It cannot be reconstituted. It is saying that newly issued. Actually, this is wrong because they are derived from existing security and reconstitution is allowed. That's why option number A is wrong. I think B is saying that they are separated coupon and principal component of an eligible fixed coupon government. Exactly. B is the correct one. That perfectly match all the technical and regulatory facts. First thing is that as the full form is itself separate trading of registered interest and principal of security. Separate trading. Right. So you can take eligible fixed coupon government security, separate coupon flow and principal each become a zero coupon instrument. So that's exactly what option number B said. Second thing is that there was an update in the year 2025. What was the update? Recently, in the year 2025, it has been updated. That earlier only central government security were eligible. But in June 2025, RBI allowed state development loan or state development security to be also stripped. So earlier only central government, bond could be stripped. But now, SDL can also be stripped. Eligibility includes, it must be fixed coupon. So basically, if SDL has to be stripped, there are some certain conditions. What are the conditions? The first condition is that it must be fixed coupon. It must be fixed coupon security. The residual maturity should be less than equal to 14 years. Minimum 1000 crore should be outstanding and must be SLR eligible. Right. So that is when SDL can be stripped. The next case is creation and reconstitution. Obviously, two processes always exist: stripping and reconstituting. In the case of strips, just remember these two processes coexist together. So what are the name of the process? Let me write it down. The first thing is striping. What is the meaning of striping? Striping means breaking the bond into coupon stripes plus principal stripe. So we have a bond, we have a regular bond, and we are breaking into two parts. The first part is called principal strip. The second part is called coupon strip. So basically we have break the bond into two parts. That's called stripping. The second thing that we do is called reconstituting. Right, which means recombining all the strips. We are recombining all the strips back into the original bond. We are recombining all the strips back into original bond. And if we look at the option number B, that is what it's saying. It says that they are separate coupon and principal component of an eligible fixed coupon government. They are treated like a zero coupon instrument on NDSOM and they are valued using discount factor and eligible for STM classification. Exactly. B number is the correct one. What about option number C? Option number C says that there are unsecured money market borrowing used by bank to manage liquidity created from treasury bill without coupon separation. So if you look at the option number C, it says that strips are unsecured money market borrowing. That is what it's saying, right? Actually, this is completely incorrect. It is completely incorrect, right? This is completely incorrect. The strips are not, unsecured, completely incorrect. What about option D? Strips represent long-term corporate bond stripped by PD. Yes, it says that corporate bond and pay periodic coupon. Totally false. Strips are zero coupon and from government security only. Remember, strips are zero coupon and they are from, government security only. Right? So it says that, they are long-term corporate bond stripped by PD while interest is still pay periodic coupon. Actually, strips are zero coupon and from government security only. That's why it is wrong. So what is the correct answer? Strips. So there is a trick to remember it. So whenever you hear this word strips, just think about it like this: strip the bond. Strip the bond. What is the full form? Separate trading. Separate the registered interest, principal, security. That means separate trading of registered interest and principal of security. So what we learned, just let me summarize. So what we discussed, right? A strips is a coupon plus principal part separated from an eligible government security or a state development loan has also been included. And basically this is a traded like a zero coupon security. It will not offer you any security. Zero coupon security. it must be fixed, it must be for residual maturity must be less than 14 years, and minimum outstanding 1000 crore plus outstanding. SLR eligible, yes, it must be. You can include in SLR calculation. They are traded on NDSOM. They are valued using discount factor and ZCYC. They are eligible for STM classification, right? They can be classified under STM, held to maturity category. Please remember it. Now friends, we have a very good question. This is a numerical type question. Let's try to solve this one. So basically what the question is all about, there is a bank and this bank borrows 750 crore from RBI for 3 days. So the bank borrows 750 crore from RBI for 3 days. The RBI repo rate was 5.50%. But after the 25 BPS cut on 5 December 2025, the applicable repo rate for this borrowing become 5.25. What is the interest payable by the bank to RBI for the 3-day borrowing? Exactly, such type of question are most frequently asked in the examination, and that is what we are practicing. So friends, if you want complete set of previous year question, because in this particular lecture I am not discussing the complete set, I have included the complete set of MCQ discussion in our paid course. For more detail regarding the paid course, you can WhatsApp me on this particular number. So here the question is all about 750 crore the bank has borrowed, and out of this 750 crore, RBI repo rate was 5.50%, and there is a 25 basic point cut on 5 December 2020, and applicable repo rate become 5.25%. So the question is, what is the interest payable by the bank to RBI? Option they have given some crores. So repo question becomes super easy once you remember one golden rule. And what is that golden rule? See, if you have to solve any kind of repo based question, there is a golden rule to remember. So let me write down the golden rule. The thing is that interest is always calculated for the actual number of days, right? See, let me write it down. This one is the golden rule for any kind of repo calculation. Interest always calculate for the actual number of days, and that too using latest repo rate, right? Interest always calculate for the actual number of days using the latest repo rate. Now you can think of it RBI like a bank for bank. Obviously, think of what it is actually. RBI is the bank for bank. Whenever bank needs short-term fund, suppose this is a bank and this bank need what? This bank need short-term fund, right? So it can borrow from RBI. This short-term fund it can borrow from RBI. At which rate? At the rate repo rate. So what is happening here? That this bank is borrowing short-term fund from RBI at the repo rate. Now basically in this particular case, how much it is borrowing? It is borrowing 750 crore, right? For how many days? For 3 days. At the new repo rate, what is the new repo rate? There is a 25 basis point cut. So it now becomes 5.25%. Right, and the question is asking you to compute the interest. The interest is very simple. What it is? P into R into T upon 100. I think you know it very well. Now, first of all, what we do? We convert the percentage to decimal. Now, how much is the interest? They have given 5.25. So that becomes 5.25 upon 100, or we can say 0.0525. Let's apply the formula here. Principal is how much? Principal is 750. Right, crore obviously. And R is just now equal to 0.0525, and T is how much? 3 months. I think they have invested for 3 months. Yes, for 3 days. Sorry, 3 days. So 3 upon 365. Right. So that will give you 0.3236 crore. So round value is 0.323 crore. Right. So that's a very simple question. Right, you have to compute the interest P into R into T upon 100. Now, have a look at the next question. Very important and very good question. So friends, which statement best captured the design, operation and objective to 3 years? VRR is a standing facility with no auction. LTRO, TLTRO inject liquidity only through CRR cut and do not use government security as collateral. So basically, RBI liquidity tools. You might have heard about term repo, VRR, LTRO. So these are the RBI liquidity tools. Term repo, right, VRR, LTRO. So it may sound complicated, but if you understand who borrow, at what rate borrow, for how long borrow, the entire chapter becomes super easy. You can think of the RBI as the main water tank of the financial system. Bank need water, that is money for different duration, right? You can think of RBI you can think of the main water tank. For what? For financial water tank of the financial system, right? So bank need money for different duration. It can be either very short term, It can be either short term but longer than overnight. It can be long term structural need. To supply this water efficiently, RBI use three tools, right? Basically, it can be the money can be for short term, it can be overnight, it can be for longer term structural need. So to supply this water efficiently, RBI use three tools. The first tool is called term repo. The first tool is called term repo. This is the kind of short term injection. The second is called VRR. VRR is variable rate reverse repo. This is a kind of short term absorption, right? And the third thing that RBI can use, the tool that you can use is LTRO or TLTRO, which means long term injection at a stable cost. Term repo, VRR, and LTRO, TLTRO. These are the three ways. So if you talk about the term repo is for 7 to 14 days. So think of it like RBI giving water to bank for few days, not the every night, right? That is called LTRO. Or sorry, we call it term repo. So term repo means RBI giving water to the bank for few days, usually 7 to 14 days, and platform is e-kuber auction, and timing of often alternate Friday. Right, amount is how much? Amount 0.25% of NDTL, and rate is variable rate discovered through auction, and typically higher above the policy repo rate. So this help bank avoid heavy dependency on overnight borrowing. Then the second thing, we have VRR, that is called variable rate reverse repo. So this is for liquidity absorption. Name itself suggests variable rate reverse repo. Liquidity absorption is the main thing here. So the key feature is, again, it is overnight for up to 14 days. First point. Second point is method is competitive auction. Method is competitive auction, and rate stay near the reverse repo. Rate always stay near the reverse repo. It keep money market rate stable. So VRR is a kind of short term liquidity absorption through auction. The third thing we have is LTRO, or we can call it TLTRO. So this is for 1 to 3 year long term cheap funding. So these are RBI long pipeline support in supplying steady long duration water at a stable cost. The key features are 1 to 3 year tenor. Rate, I told you, they are fixed at the policy repo rate. They are fixed at policy repo rate. Purpose is to provide long term liquidity, support bank ALM, simulate lending, direct bank to inject in an NBFC MFI LC instrument. Then we talk about the TLTRO. TLTRO is the targeted TLTRO is the targeted deployment. So basically it is for 45 days. TLTRO is for 45 days, and in the recent TLTRO 2.0, it is for 45 days. So TLTRO help the bank lend long term without needing the repo rate cut. So that bank can lend for long term without needing the repo rate cut. So if you look at the option number B, it capture all these things. Term repo or LF. Auction mechanism is variable rate auction, VRR, that is call it, and correct liquidity amount is almost 0.25% of NDTL, and accurate VRR description, accurate LTRO TLTRO description. So this is all, everything is correct. So option number B is the correct one. Now friends, what we learned from this question is that for term repo, typically it is 7 to 14 days e-kuber auction, and variable rate above repo rate, and it inject 0.25% of NDTL. Then we talk about the variable rate reverse repo, that's called VRR, which is a liquidity absorption tool for up to 14 days, 13 to 14 days, and competitive bid happens near the reverse repo. Then we have LTRO or TLTRO, which is provide 1 to 3 year fund at a policy repo rate, and it help ALM and NBFC MFI. Now friends, let's see the next question. So the question is on your screen. It is about which statement correctly explain how PVP operate in India for USD INR forex settlement under CCIL along with the risk control and legal framework. So option they have mentioned that PVP settle forex trade after netting using RBI for INR and bank for US dollar, ensuring simultaneous two-way payment that remove principal risk under PSS Act rule. B says that PVP process forex deal through CCIL system, settling INR at RBI and USD at bank, providing synchronized settlement. C says that PVP handle currency trade via multilateral netting, settling one leg at RBI and one at bank, giving real-time two-leg transfer that mitigate hostage risk. D says PVP conduct cross-currency settlement through CCIL using RBI and bank for legs, ensuring match payment that avoid counterparty loss. So which option do you think is correct here? So let's get started with option number A. So friends, forex settlement risk can wipe out the entire trader in trade if one party pay but the other does not. So we are talking about forex settlement risk. It can wipe out the entire trade. So basically, the India solved this problem using a powerful mechanism that is called PVP. PVP stands for payment versus payment. Right. Let's understand it in the easiest way possible. Imagine that there are two traders who are doing USD INR forex deal. Right. So the trader number A, they give Indian rupees, and trader number B, they give dollar. The danger is that what if one person pay but the other does not? That is exactly what happened in the case of hostage risk. You are familiar with this hostage risk. This is exactly what happened. One person pay but other did not pay. So India designed a system so that the both payment happen together. Both payment happen together, not at all. Right? Not at all. So that system is called payment versus payment. How it works, So first of all, in this case, CCIL, Clearing Corporation of India Limited, they take all the US dollar, they take all the INR deal from different banks. Right? It does multilateral netting. What it does? It does multilateral netting, so that each bank pay only the net amount. For example, let's say a bank has to receive $10 million, right? And they have to pay, suppose this is the bank, right? They have to receive $10 million and the bank has to pay $8 million. So what is the net amount? Net amount is $2 million, right? They have to receive. So net $2 million they have to receive. So basically what happened, this reduces the liquidity pressure. Ultimate effect is that liquidity pressure get reduced. So this is how the step number 1 happened, that is CCIL nets trade. Step number 2 is about settlement through two different systems. So basically PVP need two safe settlement leg. One is called INR leg, which are settled in RBI account. Second is called USD leg, which are settled through designated USD settlement bank abroad. So basically two leg system, it is INR leg and USD leg, but CCIL coordinate both the leg. And the third step we have is simultaneous payment. This is called true PVP, which means CCIL ensure that dollar transfer happen only if INR transfer also happen. Dollar transfer happen only if INR transfer also happen, and INR transfer happen only if dollar transfer happen. So both the payment are released simultaneously. So this remove the principal risk. So principal risk get eradicated, and obviously they are backed by the law. PSS Act 2007, right? That is Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. So it is protected under this act. The entire settlement system is protected under the PSS Act. So let's look at the option that we have been provided. So option number A says that they settle forex trade after netting, use RBI for INR and bank for USD, ensuring simultaneous. Yes, I think A is the correct one. CCIL use multilateral netting, INR settle at RBI, USD settle at designated bank, payment release simultaneously, it remove hostage risk. What about option B? So they have mentioned here, synchronized settlement. Here you can see they have mentioned synchronized settlement. Actually, it does not mention multilateral netting. It did nowhere mention multilateral netting, right? And or PSS Act protection. That's why it is half truth. It is incomplete. I'm not saying that this is wrong, but it is incomplete. What about option C? Option C says real-time two-leg transfer, right? It says real-time two-leg transfer. The incorrect thing is that it used batch-based net settlement. Here they have written, right? They use batch-based net settlement. So they have mentioned that it used real-time gross settlement. No. Actually, they use batch based real time settlement, right? The option number D says that vague misses some core feature like netting, PSS Act and simultaneous payment. So you can think of this PVP like pay, pay and payer. So both currency may pay together as a pair. If one fails, the other cannot. So what we have discussed, so we have just talked about PVP. So PVP, please remember, this is a simultaneous settlement of both the currency leg. Simultaneous settlement of both the currency leg. It removes the Hurstead or it removes the principal risk. And CCIL use multilateral netting. And USD settles at the settlement bank. And legally protected under the PSS Act 2007. Now friends, have a look at the next question. So, question is, which statement correctly explain how CLS function globally and how it complements CCIL settlement system for India's related forex trade? So, option they have mentioned that CLS settle match FX deal with using multilateral netting and RTGS overlap across 18 currency, cutting liquidity needs sharply and removing the Hurstead risk. B says CLS process currency flow on global gross basis without netting, settling only INR trade for Indian bank and operate without RTGS link. C says CLS handle only unilateral system for selected trade without PVP, relying mainly on manual nosto transfer. D say CLS offer delayed payment without simultaneity across currency and provide no liquidity benefit, while CCIL independently manage global foreign exchange trade. These are the four options they have mentioned. So we have to explain which one is correct. Friends, the bigger danger in the forex risk settlement is always the one risk that's called Hurstead risk. This is one of the biggest risks in the forex settlement. What's the name of that risk? Hurstead risk. Hurstead risk means what when you pay. The biggest risk is what Hurstead risk. Hurstead risk means when you pay your currency but the other party currency never arrive. You pay but the other party never arrive. The global solution to this is CLS. India's solution just now we have discussed PVP mechanism. But India domestic solution is PVP, CCIL, PVP. But we are talking about global solution is CLS. So basically imagine that two banks are doing USD dollar or euro trade. So bank A, they pay dollar, right? And bank B, they pay euro. If one side pay early while the other side pay late due to time zone difference, suppose because of the time zone difference, one side pay early, other side pay late. So obviously there is a huge risk is there. So global forex market solve this using CLS. What is the full form of CLS? CLS stands for, let me write it down. Continuous linked settlement. Continuous linked settlement. Right. Think of the CLS like a global clearing house. You can think of it like, it is a kind of global clearing house. Right. It is a kind of global clearing house that takes both the side currency. That take both side currencies, right? They settle them at the same time. Take both side currency, they settle them at the same time, and only releases if the other is ready. If the other is ready, then one will be released. So it's kind of global clearing house that take both side currency, settle them at the same time, and only release one if the other is ready. Now think about India. India need the same protection for India need the same protection for USD INR trade. So domestically, we will use CCIL PVP for the USD INR leg. But when the Indian bank does a global foreign trend, then CLS handle the global leg, CCIL handle the domestic rupee settlement. So suppose the Indian bank is doing global foreign exchange trade. So in that case, two legs are there. One is the global leg and other is the domestic leg. Right. So please understand, this global leg is handled by CLS and this domestic leg is handled by CCIL. Together they form a complete safety net. Now, how CLS work? So CLS settle trade using PVP. They settle trade using PVP, that is payment versus payment. Both the currencies settle simultaneously. And it works across 18 major currency. It uses multilateral netting. Right, this reduces liquidity requirement by over 90%. Right. And it settled during 5-hour RTGS overlap. Its settlement happened during 5-hour RTGS overlap, so that all the central bank payment system are open. Settlement happened during a 5-hour RTGS overlap window. It removed Hurstead risk or principal risk. So friends, how CCIL work for India? If you talk about CCIL working for India, you know it very well that suppose it is USD INR spot forward or swap done within India. So INR leg settled at RBI, and USD leg settled through designated settlement bank. CCIL perform multilateral netting. CCIL perform multilateral netting. Through PVP ensure simultaneous settlement. And when Indian bank do global foreign exchange trade, CCIL handle domestic INR leg, CLS handle global currency leg. Together they ensure both global and domestic PEP protection. Now let's look at the option. Option number A says that it matches the foreign exchange deal using multilateral netting and RTGS overlap across 18 currency, cutting liquidity needs sharply and removing the hostage risk, while CCIL use local PEP for USD INR trade with CLS supporting global leg. Exactly, correct. B says CLS processes currency flow on global gross basis. So gross basis without netting, that's wrong. Actually, and also it says that it settles CLS, it settles only INR. No. Actually, and one more thing is that CCIL does not replace PEP with CLS. Option C say that no PEP and manual nosto transfer. No, actually it is wrong. And CLS is automated RTGS linked PEP system. And option D claims CLS offer delayed non-simultaneous settlement, completely opposite of reality. It says that it offers delayed settlement without simultaneous. It's completely opposite. So you can think of it like this. Just one trick to remember it. CLS is the global PVP, right? And CCIL is the India PVP. India payment versus payment, and one is global payment versus payment. So just remember, CLS protect global foreign exchange trade, while CCIL protect USD INR trade inside India, right? So CLS global PEP, CCIL domestic PEP, 18 currency in CLS, and CCIL INR versus via RBI. Now friends, let's see the next question. Which statement correctly describes the concept and calculation of the bond dirty price along with its market uses and price behavior? Right, very good question. It is disregarding the dirty price of the bond. So option A say that dirty price equal clean price plus accrued interest using day count fraction form the actual settlement value rises daily and until the coupon date. B says dirty price exclude accrued interest and stay constant between coupon date, serve only as a quoted benchmark. C say dirty price remove coupon related adjustment to simplify comparison, decline steadily before coupon date. D say dirty price uses only semi-annual compounding without day count rule, calculate purely from yield, ignoring coupon timing. These are the four options they have mentioned regarding the dirty price. You have to say which one is correct. So option number, bond pricing confuses many learners because they hear some clean pricing, they hear something called dirty pricing. But don't worry, if you understand just one simple idea, everything becomes clear. Imagine that you buy a house. Suppose that you buy a house, right? But the seller has already paid property tax for half a year. Seller has paid property tax for half year, right? So when you buy the house, you compensate the seller for the tax they prepaid. Bond work exactly like this. A bond, what it pay? The bond pay you periodic coupon, right? Bond pay you periodic coupon, or we call it interest, right? If the seller has held the bond for say 40 days, suppose this particular seller, he has held the bond for 40 days since the last coupon date, they have earned some interest. They have already obviously earned some interest because the seller has held the bond for let's say 40 days since the last coupon date. They have earned some interest, but when you buy the bond, you must pay that interest to the seller. So suppose you are buying the bond, so in that case, you must pay that interest whatever seller has paid. So this earned interest is called accrued interest. I think we have discussed one numerical based on it, accrued interest, right? So the total amount you actually pay is the clean price plus accrued interest. So the amount you pay is the clean price plus accrued interest, and both of them when combined, that is called dirty price. So one formula you can just remember it like this. Let me write it down. You can write it like this. P dirty, that is dirty price, is equal to clean price plus accrued interest. Right. So what is the how to compute the accrued interest? Let's see. How to compute it? C into 1 upon period per year multiplied by days elapsed divided by day in coupon period. Right. This is how we compute it. So dirty price, a dirty price actually, because interest keep accumulating every day, so dirty price rises daily. And accrued interest becomes zero. If the suppose on the coupon payment date accrued interest becomes zero, so dirty price drops sharply and dirty price become clean price immediately after the coupon. And between two coupon date, clean price stay relatively smooth and dirty price keep rising. So this daily staircase pattern is a classic CFA FRM concept. So US market quote clean price because it gives a smoother number unaffected by the day count, and European market quote the dirty price. Now let's see the option that we have. Option A says that it equal dirty price equal clean price plus accrued interest exactly, right? And uses it says settlement is always at the dirty price. Yes, correct. Third point is it rises daily. Yes, correct. It fell at the coupon date exactly. And US is the clean quote. European Union is the dirty quote exactly. So option A is the correct one. What about option B? Option B says that dirty price exclude accrued interest and stay constant between coupon date. Actually, sir, dirty price exclude accrued interest, it is false. Also say US use dirty quote, this is also wrong. Option C claim dirty price decline before coupon date. Actually no, it is wrong. Actually it is opposite of the reality. And option D claims dirty price ignore coupon and day count. Actually it is incorrect. Dirty price literally depends on day count. Because in the formula also you will see the day count. So dirty means actually what you pay. What you actually pay. What you actually pay for the bond. You pay clean price. Clean price is the market value. And also you pay the accrued interest, which is the interest that seller has earned. Together they form the dirty bond that you settle. So dirty price means clean price plus the interest. So it is the actual settlement price. Clean plus accrued interest.